am super honored and just this is such a privilege to be invited to this call and to tell you all my story. And everybody talks about how they came in through the Juice Plus or the Tower Garden door, and I came in through both, but at different times. So probably about 25 years ago, when my husband, my now husband, and I, we were, first of all, let me back up and say, I'm coming to you guys from Southern California in San Diego. 25 years ago, my now husband and I were ocean lifeguards, and we had a friend who was a partner and sold Juice Plus. And at that time, we were in our 20s. And so it was more of the, hey, this is really good for you. Will you take it? And we didn't look into it. We just bought it from him because we were athletes. And he said it's all fruits and vegetables. And we were like, good deal. So we took it for about 2 years. And then being in our early 20s and expanding on life and not knowing the value of what we were taking and not knowing what we were taking, even though it kept us healthy and we were not sick for those 2 years at all, we went off because we just did not know the value. Fast forward to 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, when the world was falling apart, and so was I. I was at that time when the pandemic hit, I had one back surgery under my belt. I was a pretty high level, hardcore, pound your body athlete for most of my life. And I started having back issues around 45. I'm now 52, and they became chronic. And I went to the doctor and found out I had a herniated disc. The Band-Aid fix at the time, the doctor recommended I get a discectomy surgery. I went ahead and did. And 4 months after that surgery, I re-herniated. And I was able to go 2 years between surgery number one and surgery number two. Surgery number two happened during all of the pandemic stuff. 2022 was my second surgery. 1 month after that surgery, I re-herniated again. And this time I re-herniated in the same spot and on the other side and one vertebrae below. So I had 3 herniations. And I was skeptical at that point, like, what, why isn't this being fixed? And the doctor looked at me and said, okay, the next step is fusion. And if y'all don't know anything about fusion, it's basically a year recovery, up to 6 months of immobility. You have to wear a halo around the middle of your whole body while your bones fuse to metal that they put in your back. And it wasn't even a consideration. At that very moment, I decided, nope, I will not be doing fusion and I will be healing my body myself. This is not working. That was the defining moment. Right then, I made the decision that my mission, it was going to shift drastically. And I had always been health minded, but with the blinders on, like health minded, like I was raised on whole foods. Like we didn't eat canned fruits and vegetables or anything like that. But the products, the messaging, all of that we've all been subject to, I also believed. So I was not nearly as clean as we all need to be. And so then it was just a game changer. It was a decision that I made right then that I wasn't going to get fusion, that I was going to heal my body some way, somehow, that I was missing the mark. And something in my soul told me that these back issues weren't because of my past physical life. There was something that just spoke to me that this was more about my emotional health and my soul health. And if I could get that, I knew that other things would fall into line. So I basically tackled every front. I tackled my soul health, my physical health, my emotional health, everything. I tackled it all at once. I took up meditation, and right about the same time when I was like going down this path and exploring different things, I had a friend say, you need to hook up with my friend. You need to follow her on Facebook because you guys are so like-minded. It had nothing to do with gardening. It had nothing to do with health. She was like, you guys are just so like-minded. You need to connect with her. I friended Nikki Purcell, And immediately she had posted this big tray of vegetables. And I was like, okay, I know we've been friends for 5 minutes, but we're totally vibing. Look at what I just posted. And I had posted a massive order from a co-op of fresh vegetables I'd gotten. And so within moments, I see her posting the towers, and I'm like, okay, having been a 15-year black thumb owner, meaning I was the person that always tried gardening, but we would go on vacation. I would come home to a dead garden. I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then I figured out it was Juice Plus, and I was like, wait a minute, I used to be on Juice Plus. So I immediately contacted her and said, okay, I want in. I partnered up right away. I actually bought Juice Plus before I started buying towers because I thought that was my answer, really, but it was both. And y'all, I can't even begin to tell you, these products and the towers have touched every arena of my life, every arena. So when I met up with Nikki and she got me started, about 4 months prior to that, I was on a call with my sister, and I actually said these words to her. I said, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I just have a feeling I'm going to have a business in health and wellness. That whole mission is speaking to me, and I think I'm going to have a business. I am a business owner right now. I am a dog trainer and I have a doggy play care, but I just knew that I was going to, I was feeling very passionate, and I knew I was going to have this business. So when I hooked up with Nikki and Juice Plus exploded off her page and Towers exploded off her page, I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. Just 4 months ago, I spoke about this, and here God is putting this in my path. So I was all in from the get-go, but I had no idea how it was going to radically change my life. Keep in mind, you guys, I had 3 herniated discs at the time, and I was refusing fusion surgery. I wasn't in chronic pain because I had already started the journey of like meditating and controlling my stress. So I start growing, you guys, and between the Juice Plus that I have been taking religiously every single day since, and growing my own food and providing about 80 to 85% of the produce that we eat in my 4-person family. I have 2 teenagers. I have a 6'1" son, Division I swimmer, and a 6-foot tall volleyball player girl. And my husband is an eater, and I'm an eater. I grow about 85% of the fruits and vegetables that we eat. It's pretty amazing. And I know the nutrition that is going in their body is the best you can get out there. But here's the craziest success of everything is, you guys, I have avoided now back surgery of any kind. I am working out again. I am not living in chronic pain. My mental health is on point. My blood work is amazing. And it is all because of these products. My husband, I'm going to share one more success story. I haven't even shared this on social media because I wanted to hold on to it for this call. My husband, who is a firefighter, and he is a skeptic. He believes in Juice Plus, but he is one of those people that it's really hard to create new habits. And in all honesty, my rapid change in so many departments has created a rift, so to speak. So it's been hard to align. And so for 2 years, I have been saying, you need to take these, you need to take these. He is a firefighter. He is exposed to massive amounts of toxins. And he decided 6 months ago he was going to do it. And so for 6 months, he has been taking it religiously. He just came to me 3 days ago and he said, we had our annual physical. And I looked at him and I'm like, that includes blood work, doesn't it? And he said, yeah. And he said, the doctors looked at me and said, every single marker has improved and your blood is better than it was 4 years ago. Like in the 4 years that he's been tested at this particular lab, he is healthier today than he was in every single test for the last 4 years. And he has been on Juice Plus for 6 months and been eating my homegrown goodness. The other thing that you guys that I want to share, because this was very profound for me. We recently watched a series on Netflix called Blue Zones. It is about pockets around our world of communities that live past 100. And there is a gentleman who's done these studies for about 25 years. He has, and then all of the commonalities of those zones, what he has come up with, allowing these people to live so long. In one of the zones, the women live longer than the men, like substantially. And what he came up with there was that in that particular community, every house has a garden and the women do the gardening. And it's the physical labor of the gardening that helps them stay active. It's not workouts, so to speak. It's just the gardening. And something went off in my head. I was like, when did I start tower gardening? Okay, I started tower gardening in January of 2021. When did I have my last surgery? It was June of 2020. So it was about 6 months post-op that I started tower gardening. So when I say, you guys, that these products helped me on the inside with the nutrition, but what they also did was they healed me physically, because it was the physical labor of tower gardening, which is not a lot, but you still are putting plants in, putting towers together, dealing with your plants, watering your plants, squatting down to fill up your tanks. It's not heavy, but I was like, oh my gosh, not only was it the food and the juice plus, but it was the actual towers, the actual movement of gardening that helped me avoid more surgery and helped me recover in a really passionate way. Not like I'm going to PT and having to do appointments, but joyful, passionate, empowering way. And that's the last thing that I want to talk about, is the empowerment of all of these. You guys, there's something really God-driven and something really powerful that happens when you take your health into your own hands and you provide the kind of nutrition and health that our Creator has created for us, the kind that is on this earth from the get-go. Nothing synthetic, nothing fake, nothing toxic. It's literally by design. And what happens in your soul when you do that is a healing on an unexplainable level. And if any of you out there are on the fence, it will be the smartest dollars you will have ever spent in your entire life. I have 6 towers now. I am tower addicted, like best addiction ever. So this is my potpourri tower. Like, I got a little bit of everything on here. But one plant that I want to show you guys, which is really unique. I'm obsessed with growing like unknown and really exotic things. If I'm going to grow a melon, I'm going to grow a melon that's like orange and green on the outside. If I'm going to grow berries, I'm going to grow a berry that no one's ever heard of. So this plant right here is called, with the red berries on it, it's called strawberry spinach. And let me tell you guys, it took me about 4 months to get that baby growing, but it was worth it. And these little berries, they don't taste like strawberries, but they're sweet. And if you know that spinach is a cold weather plant, so in the hot months of summer, spinach doesn't like it. This plant here can grow in the hot months. I'm in California, and that plant just did well all summer long. And I'm finally getting enough of those red berries to sprinkle all over a salad. So I'm really excited. So I'm going to show you guys my other tower. So this tower has eggplant and a lot of herbs and arugula and some flowers. It even has, I'll bring you guys around the other side. These are called black cherry sunflowers, and they're huge. If you can see that, they're huge all over the tower. Okay, over here, this one's my salad tower, and it has all of my lettuces. This round of growing for me, I have decided that I am going to put marigold and rosemary in every single tower, because those are natural pest repellents. And so this is my salad tower. The only thing that's not salad is some purple cabbage that I'm growing down here, but everything else, it's my salad tower. So I'm going to bring you over to my other 4 that are actually in my garden. Those are on my patio. And I'm so thankful the weather is cooperating with me today or right now. Okay, there we go. There's a big full one. These are all peppers, you guys, all sorts of beautiful purple peppers, and got some big bell peppers down here. And then on the other side, these are all melon vines, you guys, and I'll bring you to the other side to show you melons. And another unique crop that I'm growing up here, these are called ground cherries or husk tomatoes. And they're like little itty bitty tomatillos. Oh, I'm going to have to grab another one to show you guys. And they taste like a cross between a grape and a tomato in my opinion. And they just come out of the little shell there. I don't have, there we go. That's what they look like. But I have more peppers. And let me show you the melons that we got going on here. Got a watermelon down here, right there. I have it in the bag so it won't break off the vine. Right here, a little baby lemon melon. So I grow a ton of huge variety. Having 6 towers, I'm just going to take this Japanese cucumber off right now and show you guys. So I've been growing cucumbers, a variety of cucumbers for about 6 months. Then we're moving over to this tower right here, and I have a boatload of eggplant and strawberries. I just replanted this entire tower because this upper unit with all the microports had gotten massively impacted with strawberry plants, like to the point where they weren't flowering, they weren't producing. And I took them all out and I had over 200 plants in there. So I thinned them all out, replanted the whole tower, and I'm crossing my fingers that I'm going to get another crop before we get cold enough to not have a crop out here. Next tower, this bad boy right here is my tower, or my tomato tower, and celery. So out here in California, we can have celery on the towers year round. And I do, because celery is a staple of what I juice and what we eat. I make lots of soup, but celery is so nutritional, and the greens especially. Okay, so this is all tomatoes with some nasturtiums on the other side, which, by the way, are an edible plant flower, if you don't know. I make amazing salads, and I always include edible flowers. Nasturtiums, if you've never eaten one, are a little peppery, but they're delicious. Okay, I'm going to show you the very last tower, and then I'll bring you around the front to show you how these towers, if you set them up next to something they can vine on, they do very well. Okay, so this is my youngest tower right here. And you wouldn't know it because it already looks really full, right? I planted this 4 weeks ago, you guys, and right down here, I harvested probably a 14-inch zucchini from it yesterday, and I planted that plant 4 weeks ago. The rest of the tower is eggplant, broccoli, cauliflower. So I have planted this tower going into fall because it's going to be my brassica tower, and it's going to give us tons of, I think I have all 4 varieties of cauliflower in there. So it's going to be a rainbow. I'm going to have cheddar cauliflower, white cauliflower, purple cauliflower, and the green cauliflower all in here with broccoli and eggplant, and then squash on the bottom for as long as I can have it. Now, the final thing I want to show you guys is the front of our garden. You can see all this. So we have a wire fence here, and I purposely set the towers there in the knowing I wanted to grow cucumbers and melons and all sorts of vining things here. And it worked out beautifully. It's just taken over my whole entire fence, and I love it. So when I say that these bring not only nutrition, but they bring peace, because I come out, I would say 20 times a day and just sit in my garden. Even if it's for a minute, I do my meditation out here. I always sit in my garden on my bench before I go to bed. It's my Zen space. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this is inspirational. Anybody can do this. Anybody can.